Hi, this is Tom, and we're going to continue now. We just found out that the slope of any vertical line is undefined. Well, in this video, let's take a look at another data set. So let's try another data set. This one we're going to try is, how about this? How about we go 1, 1, and then let's see, 1, 1. How about 2, 1, and finally 3, 1. So there's our data set, and we'll graph those in blue. Let's make a set of green axes. So there's my axes. So let's see, my 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. And then, now wait a minute. When we start graphing these, notice that 1, 1, well, that's just right there. 2, 1, well, that's right there. Notice, whoa. And 3, 1, 3, 1, they all line up right on top of that green line. And as a matter of fact, that's the case. So this is a horizontal line that we're looking at here. So now we have, this is horizontal. Horizontal line. Now, notice again that it's a perfect line. The dots all line up exactly. So from what we'd learned already, we would have suggested that R, the correlation coefficient, would be either 1 or -1. Well, let's just find out what happens. So here we go. We're going to make our table again. We have our X and our Y, our XY, our X squared, and our Y squared. So we're going to make this table, and we're going to find the correlation R, and then we're also going to find B for this. So let's see, my data set is 1, 1, 2, 1, and 3, 1. We're going to make a sum here at the bottom. So the product is 1, 2, 3. The x's squared become 1, 4, 9. The y squareds are 1, 1, and 1. So if I add these up, I have a 6, a 3, a 6, 14, and 3. All right, so let's do this. Let's calculate I'm going to call it RH for the correlation of the horizontal. That's what the H is for, horizontal correlation. Remember, we take the number of data, that's 3. We multiply it by the sum of the product of xy, that's 6, minus the sum of the x's times the sum of the y's. Then we're going to divide that by the square root, this big square root, and we take the number of data, 3, times the sum of the x's squared, or the sum of the x squareds. So that's 14 minus, and then we are going to take the x's, the sum of the x's, that's a 6, and we're going to square those, times, again we take 3, times the sum of the y squareds, well, those add up to 3, minus, we take the sum of the y's, which is 3, and we square those. And I think we're ready. Well, let's see. In the numerator, right off the bat, we come up with a 0. Actually, I'm going to move this down for the sake of space. So look at this. My numerator becomes 0. Okay? But look at this. This piece right here is 0. So the y's now are making my denominator 0. So now I have the square root of, this becomes 6 times 0. So notice now when you have a horizontal line, it's the y component that's making our denominator 0. Well, in the last video we said that if you have 0 over 0, we said now that the correlation of a horizontal line is undefined. Interesting. So even if you knew it was a line but hadn't looked at the data would probably give you an error message. So you'd have to really make sure you looked at your scatter plot before you just let a computer maybe run calculations on a data set. Well, let's see what happens to B. Let's see what happens to the horizontal component of b. And I should probably erase those equals since I went down and not left to right. So the horizontal, or the slope, let's find the horizontal slope. All right, so remember, we take the number of data, that's 3, times the sum of the xy's, that's 6, minus the sum of the x's, which is 6 times the sum of the y's. And we divide this one, though. This one is the same division as it was for the vertical line, and that's the x's. So now we go n, which is 3. We go the sum of the x's, the x squareds, so that's the sum of the x squareds is 14 minus, then we take the sum of the x's and we square them. Well, look at what we get. We have 0 in the numerator, but this time we get 6 in the denominator. That's different. If you put this in your calculator, you come up with 0. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to make a few notes here, any number divided by 0 is 0. And if you take your calculator and you type 0 divided by 6 and press enter, you'll get 0. But if you change this and you try 6 divided by 0, your calculator will probably give you it'll probably give you an error message. So look at what we found. This time, remember for a vertical line, we said the slope was undefined, but here we have this. We have 0. And actually, that's the case for all horizontal lines. We say the slope, of any horizontal line. Any horizontal line is 0. So notice that writing 0 is different than undefined. So the slope of any horizontal line is 0. We're going to stop there, and in the next video, we're going to take a look at, well, when you have a slope that does have some kind of up or down to it, what does that up or down really mean? See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.